In this video I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. Get a stunning waterfall glass tile feature in your shower. This is going to have a waterfall glass, stained glass mosaic border. So the thickness of the field tile is much greater than the thickness of the glass. So as you can see, this glass is very thin compared to ceramic tile, but I have to have this tile flush with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount the glass to some 1/4" foam board. This is actually weedy, so you can get 1/4" hydroband board, you can get 3/16" Curdy board. In this day and age, you got to take what you can get, and this is the only 1/4" board I could find. It's not what I really wanted. I wanted the hydroband board, but I couldn't find any, so I had to go with the weedy, which is perfectly fine. It's just I like the hydroband board better because it's got a smoother surface. But anyway, this is what I'm going to be using. I'm going to figure out my width on this tile, and then I'm going to mount the tile to the board, and then I'm going to rip it down to the actual width once it's set for a couple of days. Okay, so this is the glass, and it goes like this, and this is going to go like this, and this is going to go so like that. That's going to go like that, and then this is just a rough cut, so that when I get ready to cut this exactly on the wet saw, I'm gonna, because I need to fill in these little triangles here, so I'm gonna cut this on the wet saw once it's mounted on the board over there. I'm gonna cut it exactly like that, and it'll be the same on either side. So I got these all taped together. The grout lines aren't going to be perfect because it's glass mosaic, but even in the sheets themselves, they're not perfect. See, some are narrower, some are wider, some are narrower, some are wider, so it can't get these perfect either. But that's just the nature of the beast. But anyway, this is my line that I'm going to cut, and now I'm going to do the same on the other side. Then I'm going to do 2 more, and that'll be 1 panel. Okay, so ran into a little issue here that I didn't see before. Yeah. That's the piece that came off there. And I was like, well, I'm just going to cut it in half and then use both sides because I've done that before. But because there's 2 different sides, this was 1 piece of tile, then it's not a problem. But because it's 2 different sizes, when you get this other piece and you flip it around like that, now your pattern no longer works because you got large, small, large, small, large, small, large, small, blah, blah, blah. And then you use the flip side around, you got small, small. So you can't use that. So I'm not going to bother cutting those anymore. Okay, so I have it all ready to mount on the board. Just make sure you number your pieces so that when you have to put them together, you don't make a mistake, because they might not line up properly. Okay, cut my board up, got my glass on the board, so I'm going to mix some thinset. Now the thinset you want to use for glass tile is glass tile adhesive. This is a really good one. So as I showed you, this glass tile is very thin. It's only 1/8 of an inch thick. So if you use a trowel that's too deep, then you're going to run into a lot of trouble because the thinset's going to squeeze through all the grout lines and you're going to have a mess to clean up. So what I'm using here is a relatively small trowel. It's actually a Curdy trowel, which has a notch of an 1/8 by an 1/8 by an 1/8, a square notch trowel 1/8 inch deep. So if I were to put the tile directly on this thinset just after notching it out, I would get a lot of squeeze through because the depth of the thinset is the same as the thickness of the tile. Another problem with that, because you don't really want to move the tile around, because the more you move it around when you're setting it, the more it's going to squeeze through the joints. How do you take care of that problem? How do you take care of that issue? Well, as I'm about to do here, is you knock down the ridges. You're not removing any material. You're simply knocking down the ridges to make the thinset on the board one monolithic layer of thinset. I'm not removing any thinset, I'm just knocking down the ridges, evening them out. So this tile is a transparent glass tile. It has a plastic on the face of the tile to hold the tile together. It does not have a mesh on the back, and the reason for that is if you put the mesh on the back of the tile, then you would see it through the face of the tile. So anything is exposed on the back side of the tile is going to show through to the top side of the tile. So another reason why you knock down the ridges is because you need to get 100% coverage under the tile. And if you have ridges, you will see the notches of the thinset through the tile. That does not look good. So you knock down the ridges so that you can achieve 100% coverage. I am checking to see what my coverage is, and I have excellent coverage. And I have minimal squeeze through in the grout joints. So that makes cleanup very easy. You will always get a certain amount of squeeze through because you can't be perfect. This reduces the amount of squeeze through and cleanup to a minimum. Okay, so they're all cemented in. The long ways, I'm just going to rip it on a wet saw. The short way, I'm going to cut so they fit together. Okay, so you want to wait at least a couple of days before you start working with your panels. Otherwise, tile will pop off. The thinset needs time to cure before you handle the panels. Make sure you do that, otherwise you're going to regret it. Because this is a foam board, it's going to be very easy to cut. So you just want to be very careful as you're cutting it so that you don't chip your glass tile. So just take your time and don't rush it. The panels are going to fit together exactly right, and then you can assemble them on the wall without issue. Okay, so once I get these panels all cut and fitted together, the next step is to template where they go. They're going on the right over the mixing valves. So I'm going to show you how to make a template for the holes that need to be cut out and for the width so that I get an exact fit. I'm also going to show you how to install the waterfall feature on the wall and make it exactly even with the field tile.